So let's take a look at our examples here. So we have the first example, he always eats breakfast at 7 a.m. They often go to the beach on weekends. So always sits before the main verb eats, and often sits before go in the second part of the sentence. The next sentence, the train usually arrives on time. Again, usually sits before arrives. And our last example, we sometimes watch movies together. Sometimes is before watch. Okay, so let's talk about the placement of signal words in the negative. So in negative sentences, our signal words are placed before the verb and between the auxiliary verb do and the main verb. So note that not all sentences in the present simple tense will have signal words, and depending on the sentence, their placement might vary. So let's take a look at these examples. She never drinks coffee in the morning. He rarely goes to the gym after work. They seldom take the bus to work. And the cat does not always like to be touched. So you may know a cat like that. And noticing here, does not and always are next to each other. We have, of course, the auxiliary verb after the subject, before the main verb, like here. And we have does not and always next to each other. Does not sits before the signal word always. Okay. So moving on, let's take a look at some more examples of the signal words just so you can start to see the patterns. Okay, she always wakes up early. Again, always is before the verb. She seldom takes the bus to work. They play tennis every Sunday. This one is a little bit longer and it sits at the end of the sentence. So just noticing that the placement can change. He never forgets his mother's birthday. I rarely drink coffee after 10 a.m. She often goes for a hike on the weekends. Okay. So let's practice everything that we've learned so far. So remembering to use the correct form of the verb by adding s or es where necessary. So I will read through the sentences. You can pause the video, consider your answers, and then we'll look at what they are in a moment. So she always to wake up early. Alfred often to cook dinner for his family on Sundays, and Jenny always to bring dessert. They never to go on vacation anymore. I to listen to music when I exercise. We to eat dinner around 5 p.m. every evening. Okay, so pause the video and let's take a look at the answers. So how did you do? These are the answers. She always wakes up early. Alfred often cooks dinner for his family on Sundays, and Jenny always brings dessert. They never go on vacation anymore. I listen to music when I exercise. We eat dinner around 5 p.m. every evening. Oops. So noticing here, we have our third person, Alfred. We're adding the S on the end to cook. We have our third person, Jenny, again, adding S on the end to bring. And our third person in the first sentence, she, we are adding S on the end of wake. All right. We're going to do a little bit of practice now with the irregular verbs to be and to have. So again, I will read through the sentences. You can pause the video to consider your answers, maybe write them down, and then we'll take a look at the answers together. Her cooking to be really great. She to have a lot of skill. We to be good at math. They to be better though. She to be late for work. She to have 3 children that are sick right now. They to be awake early every weekend. She to have a lot of different animals. she to be always so busy with them all. All right, so pausing the video, let's take a look at the answers when you're ready. All right, how did that go? Again, let's take a look at the answers together. Her cooking is really great. She has a lot of skill. We are good at math. They are better though. She is late for work. She has 3 children that are sick right now. They are awake early every weekend. She has a lot of different animals. She's always so busy with them all. All right, so make sure that you got the right answers. If you didn't get the right answers, consider what is going on. Are you missing the third person? Remember, she and he and it are all third person. So double check your answers before moving on. So now we're going to practice the negative form, constructing sentences with the following parts. So we're using an auxiliary verb and a main verb, as well as, of course, the subject. So again, I will read through them. You can pause the video, and when you're ready, you can look at the answers. So we have she, auxiliary verb, like ice cream. I, auxiliary verb, know how to swim. We, auxiliary verb, remember which book you're talking about. They, auxiliary verb, play on that team anymore. He, auxiliary verb, sleep enough during the week. So remembering that all of these sentences are negative constructions, which you will need the auxiliary verb for. So pause the video and take a look at the answers in the next slide. Okay, let's see how you did. She doesn't like ice cream. I don't know how to swim. We don't remember which book you're talking about. They don't play on that team anymore, and he doesn't sleep enough during the week. So again, if you didn't get those right, take a look back, reflect on why you didn't get them right. Is there a confusion with the third person and the first person, or is it something else? So review all of the rules and see what you did wrong. If not, good stuff, and you're ready to move on. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of practice now with the question form. So again, arranging these parts into a question, remembering the auxiliary do or does wherever it might be needed. So again, you'll pause the video after I read through these, and then you'll decide what the answers might be. So we have where you go to school, what you do, where Elizabeth come from, how often she go to the park, when you get up, what time the show start. So remember that you're going to use the auxiliary verb, and you may also need to change the main verb. And I'll leave it up to you to figure out what to do. So pausing the video and looking at the slide when you're ready. Okay, so did you get the answers? Where do you go to school? What do you do? Where does Elizabeth come from? Again, we're using third person here, which means that we'll use does. How often does she go to the park? When do you get up? And what time does the show start? So making sure you're getting all of your answers right, and if you aren't, trying to figure out what you did wrong. Okay, last we're going to take a look at signal words. We're going to remember where they are placed in the sentence. If you need to go back and review, please go ahead and do that. If not, go ahead and place these in the correct spot in the sentence. Again, I will read them, and then you can pause the video and take a look at the answers when you're ready. So the first one we have is always, and I drink coffee. Sometimes with she plays with her friends after school. Never with they go on vacation. Often with we go hiking on the weekend. And every weekend with she goes to the beach. So pausing the video, take your time, write your answers, and look at the next slide when you're ready. Okay, how did it go? This one's quite simple. So again, these are placed right before the verb. I always drink coffee. She sometimes plays with her friends after school. They never go on vacation. We often go hiking on the weekend. and she goes to the beach every weekend. Okay, so hopefully you got those right, and if so, you're ready to move on. Okay, so that's everything you need to know about the present simple tense. We'll finish it up there, and I will see you in the next video.